Old Vic is 100 to 30. In the Wings, which had been favourite in the early shows, is now second favourite 7 to 2. Kakothi is 6 to 1. Sapiens and Terramon 8 to 1. Belmez 9s on 14 to 1 legal case. Asatis and Hushian 20 to 1. 25 to 1 bar 9.
And here is the new favourite for the King George, Old Vic. Horse who was on offer at 8 to 1 yesterday has now taken over the role of favouritism, and indeed he's the only classic winner in the race. The winner of the French and Irish derbies last year. Henry Cecil looked concerned when he walked the course. The horse looks in perfect condition. He's 100 to 30 favourite from 3 to 1, but disappointing in his only run this year in the Hardwick.
Superbly turned out by Henry Cecil. He's had a bit of trouble getting his horse ready, because you can imagine he likes a little bit of cut in the ground to be at his best. Well, I was down at Newmarket Heath the other day, and it looks more like the Sahara Desert than the beautiful lush green that it usually is. But just look at the job that Henry's made on him. I myself think that he might just need this race to put an edge on him. I think he's going to need a bit more time. He's right in the top end at the moment today. He's racing about against some of our best colts, but superbly turned out by Henry.
He's wearing Sheikh Mohammed's second colours. See the white cap of Steve Corton. He's a son of Sadler's Wells. So too is the deposed favourite in the Wings. There is in the Wings in the first colours of Sheikh Mohammed by Sadler's Wells out of High Hawk, trained in France by André Fabre. 7 to 2 now from 100 to 30. Winner of the Coronation Cup and the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud.
Cash Musen brought him from behind in the Coronation Cup on that occasion. He cut his horses down to beat Observation Post rather easily. He rode him then in the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. He rode a different race on him altogether. He always had him in the action, and so he's a horse that you can ride anyway. He looks superb, a genuine Group 1 horse, and is sure to make his presence felt for France here today.
The horse who finished runner-up in the race last year is Kakothi's. That was possibly the best run of his career. He's yet to win a Group 1 race, but Ascot has always been a course where he's shown his best form. He won the King Edward the 7 Stakes at the Royal Meeting last year before finishing second to Nashua.
This year his one run was a Goodwood. That was in the predominant of the Festival Stakes, I should say, when he was a 4th behind Relief Pitcher. Well, he ran a good race that day because he was giving weight away all round, and he did pull up a little bit sore on that occasion. Well, he looks superb today and is sure to run a race just like he did last year behind Nashua.
And one of the very few horses in the race who's really well suited by fast ground. Sapiens, the Northern Challenger, has won on fast ground. He's in the colours of Mr. Bill O'Gorman. He's 8 to 1 from 7 to 1, bidding to become the first Northern trained winner of this race. A really progressive horse, and a horse who's really improved from 3 to 4. He looked the absolute picture of everything a thoroughbred should be when he ran at Newmarket last time. He's really done from 3 to 4. He's a real credit to his trainer, Jimmy Fitzgerald.
As the services of Pat Edery in the saddle there, well, Pat knows his way around Ascot better than most people. Won the race twice before, Grundy in 75 and Dancing Brave in 86. As Julian was saying, a real racehorse in the classic mould and an improving type as well.
Always a fascinating race this for all true lovers of the turf and thoroughbred breeding to watch. And Her Majesty the Queen, accompanied there by Ascot representative Colonel Sir Piers Glengoff, has obviously very much enjoyed a view of the runners, the 11 runners in the paddock, on whom the bookmakers are betting as follows.
Old Vic 3 to 1, still the favourite. In the Wings 4 to 1. Kakothi's 6s. Sapiens and Terramon are 8 to 1. Belmez still on 9s. Legal Case 14 to 1. Hoshian has come into 16 to 1 from 20s, and Asatis still on 20s, 25 to 1 bar these.
This is the start of the ordeal for these horses, the parade before the stand, obligatory before Group 1 races. This is Guy Howard's number 2 runner, Asatis, never beaten at Ascot, twice won the Hardwick Stakes, ridden by Masato Shibata. Behind him is Kakothi's, Guy Howard's number 1, the runner-up last year, ridden this year by Ray Cochrane. Charmer, Clive Britton's second string, runner-up to Sapiens in the Princess of Wales Stakes, ridden by Walter Swinburne. He won on Shergard. Hussein in the colours of the owner of the year, Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, whose Salsabil was withdrawn overnight. He's the mount of Willie Carson. The second favourite in the wings, carrying Sheikh Mohammed's first colours, trained in France by André Fabre. The jockey is Cash Asmussen. Legal Case, ridden by 19-year-old Frankie Dettori, winner last year of the Champion Stakes, has yet to win over a mile and a half. The outsider of the whole field, the pacemaker, Blinkered, Limeburn, ridden by Tony McGlone. The new favourite, Old Vic, the dual classic winning son of Sadler's Wells, trained by Henry Cecil, who's prepared him to peak condition, ridden by Steve Scorton. Sapiens, trained by Jimmy Fitzgerald, runner-up in last year's St. Leger, now at the peak of his form. Lady Beaverbrook's #1, Terriman, runner-up in the Derby last year to Nashwan, runner-up in the Eclipse this year to El Malmoul. Can he win now a Group 1 race? And Belmez, incredibly the only 3-year-old in the race, a unique situation. He's only been beaten once in his life. That was in the Budweiser Irish Derby when he was third to Salsabil. Is he good enough? He's Henry Cecil's #2. A really good-looking field for this prestigious event, which traditionally brings the 3- and 4-year-olds together, but strangely somehow this year has attracted just the 1 3-year-old, and good to see so many older horses kept in training.
Yes, the 3-year-olds usually come into their own a little bit later on against the older horses when they start running in the Champion Stakes and the Arc de Triomphe. Well, the 4-year-olds and the older horses have a very, very good record in this great classic for the older horses. They're down now nearly to the furlong marker, in fact a little bit further down than that, giving the public here that has spilled out over the lawns, as you can see, that have come to see the 11 thoroughbreds in this one of the greatest races that we have. Cacoeth is just getting a little bit on his toes there. That's #2, and as you can see, he's just beginning to take notice that he's on the race course. And well, he had a hard race in this race last year behind Nashwan, but he lacked nothing but courage. I thought for one moment when Greville Starkey really asked him for that supreme effort on that occasion that he might have just got his nose in front, but Nashwan wasn't going to be denied. Found that little bit extra like all great racehorses do, and just deprived him of the honours right on the line. He turns in the hands of Ray Cochrane. Last year was ridden by Greville Starkey, this lovely big son of Aladar, who will be very much sought after by the American breeders and the English breeders when his racing career finishes.
An unusual King George, and that there's only 1 3-year-old in the race, no fillies at all, and this certainly one of the best, if not the best looking horses in the race, in the wings, and he comes to the race in winning form, having won the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud earlier this month. As they start the sweep towards the straight, still the pacemaker River Jaya, pressed by Ode, Passionaria, Carroll House towards the outside. In the wings is tucked in behind the leaders as they straighten out. Still River Jaya, pressed by Ode, Passionaria. Here comes Carroll House on the outside. In the wings in 5th place, 2 furlongs to run. Ode takes it up, pressed by Carroll House. In the wings, bursting through on the inside, 1.5 furlongs to run, and here comes in the wings from Ode. Running on into 3rd is Zartuda, but it's in the wings, inside the final furlong, in the wings, pressed by Ode, but in the wings, storming away now to win the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. At the line, in the wings, wins it from Ode in 2nd, Zartuda is 3rd. He had a pacemaker that day. There are 2 pacemakers. Well, there's 1 pacemaker, Limeburn, in the field today. I wonder how much rope Cash Asmussen will give him. I suspect that he'll be on the heels of the first 4 when they come into the straight. And this is the horse whom Sheikh Mohammed had great misgivings about running. It was only when Henry Cecil really put his reputation on the line and said, please, allow me to run this horse. He's in terrific form. The ground isn't too fast at Ascot, that the Sheikh acceded and said to Henry, right, let him run. And there's no doubt in my view that he will win today if he's back to his form of last year in the Budweiser Irish Derby.
From Ildaniski as they race down towards the final furlong. Ulvik from Ildaniski making ground on the far side. His observation post Sayani's under pressure. Glowing Stars making ground, but Ulvik looks to have them inside the final furlong. It's Ulvik and Steve Cawthon being pressed now by observation post, but not being pressed very hard. Ulvik is going to win it smoothly at the line. Ulvik is the winner. Observation post second, Ildaniski third.
That was classic winning form. It's the only classic winning form in the race. Henry believes that he is now at his peak for the first time this season. Joint favourites now, Oldvic and In the Wings. But Cacoethes represents the form, of course, of last season's other top 3-year-old, Nashwan, not officially the top horse in Europe, because Old Vic was that, but Nashwan generally agreed to be the horse of the year. And Cacoethes, well, last year for a moment, he looked like beating the mighty Nashwan. Off the pace in the straight, Greville Starkey throws down his challenge now, and for a moment, he looked like going to beat him.
All the way to the line, Greville's really asked Cacoethes for that effort, as I was saying a little bit earlier. But just look at little Nashwan, he stuck his head out and really battled it. This is the stage when I thought Cacoethes actually was going to get the spoils from this Derby winner, but he was to be denied right on the line. But just look how these two very, very brave thoroughbred colts fought right the way up into the last strides.
And if he reproduces that, he's going to be right there in the picture at the end of the race. There's no doubt that he, In the Wings, and Old Vic are the 3 horses with the best form in the race.
There's a Sartis walking round right on the far side of the course there. You can see, well, he won the Hardwick Stakes here, and in no uncertain style. For the second year running, in fact, he was 33-1 this year when he won it, and last year he was in fact very short. Now he's 16-1 from 20s, and earlier on this morning he was on, I think, on offer as big as 30-1. Well, he's not going to run a bad race here, that I can promise you. There's number 5. This is In the Wings. I thought he looked, I agreed with Julian, he's one of the best horses in the paddock, best looking horses. He's now gone to joint favourite, 7-2 from 4-1. He chipped a bone in his knee as a 2-year-old, so they had to take a bit of time with him, but he's made no mistakes this year. The Coronation Cup, for me, he was a very fluent winner, and also the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, beautifully ridden by Cash Asmussen on both occasions, and I think a really high-class thoroughbred, Julian.
This is the moment that the adrenaline runs, the nervous energy starts to flow, and a little fleck of sweat here isn't a bad thing. These horses know what they have to do, and they face a really tough test. 1.5 miles, the record time 2 minutes 26 seconds. There's going to be a real gallop today.
Tony McGlone on Limeburn, who's making the run in for his stable companion Cacoethes. He'll have his wits about him when those stalls open, because on a couple of occasions Limeburn has been a little bit slow leaving the stalls. He doesn't want to do that today. But as I was saying yesterday, that a pacemaker there is not just to go as fast as he can possibly run. It's in fact to keep him going. We now have a clear favourite, in fact. In the Wings, a 3-1. Old Vic, 4-1. Now Cacoethes 11-2 and 8-1 bar those 3. The public here are betting that it's a 3-horse race. Well, for me, there's 1 or 2 of the other runners that got a shot at the cherry.
And the winner of this race takes on multi-million-pound status. He becomes a major stallion, and particularly if he's a son of Sadler's Wells. So there's a very great deal more at stake than just the £284,000 first prize, as well as the lovely diamond prize.
Charmer just about to be loaded. He's been a little bit difficult. Charmer really has always been threatening, never managed to get his head in front in a group race like this. And a couple more left to go, and as Julian was saying, the adrenaline will really be running. In the Wings, 3-1. Old Vic now 4s, Cacoethes 6s, and Terramon's creeping into the market. Opened up 8s, went to 9s, now back to 7s. 8-1 bar those 4, and Cacoethes I think is going to be one of the last. Let's go to Peter.
Yes, Cacoethes is the last in, that's it. All 11 installed for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes of 1990, and they're running. Belmez shows fast on the inside. Then Asatis, Cacoethes up with the pace. In the wings is going right up there to join him. In the wings going on now with Old Vic on his outside. And Sapiens has gone right up to dispute the lead as well. And it's in the wings with Sapiens on the inside. Old Vic towards the outer. Belmez and Hussian just in behind them. Then Cacoethes, who's been dropped back behind Cacoethes' Legal Case. And then comes Terriman and then Charmer. And Sartis, unbeaten previously over this course, is the back marker at the moment, as Old Vic and Steve Cawthon are the leaders now. From on the inside, Sapiens, towards the outside is Limeburn. Just in behind Limeburn is Belmez, and in the wings, and then Hussian behind Hussian is Legal Case. And still Sartis the back marker, and Old Vic making it. Old Vic from Limeburn in second, Sapiens is third. Then in the wings 4, Belmez just in behind him, and behind Belmez on his outside is Hussian. Behind Hussian then is Cacoethes, and then Terriman. And still the back marker is Asatis, with Charmer dropping back too. They're past the 6-fold pole, and Old Vic is still the leader from Limeburn, intended to be the pacemaker for Cacoethes in second. Sapiens is third. Then comes in the wings on the inside with Belmez. Then Hussian making ground towards the outer. Cacoethes is getting closer now. Terriman has got a lot to do. Old Vic has a 3-length advantage now as they race to the half-mile pole. And it's Old Vic from on the inside in the wings. Sapiens has gone third. Belmez is right there with Cacoethes improving. Rounding the home turn, it's a Sheikh Mohammed 1-2 at the moment, with Old Vic the leader from Belmez in second. Cacoethes third. Sapiens is dropping out of it. Asatis is improving fast towards the stand side, but it's Old Vic being pressed by Belmez, then Cacoethes, and then Asatis under pressure. It's Belmez and Michael Cannan who've taken it up now from Old Vic, with Cacoethes third and Asatis 4, and Asatis still improving. Belmez and Old Vic fighting it out in the Mohammed colours, with Asatis still coming there. Old Vic is fighting back, but the 3-year-old has the advantage. It's Belmez from Old Vic with Asatis third as they race into the closing stages. Old Vic is fighting back. It's going to be a photo, but Belmez has just won it from Old Vic with third Asatis and 4 Cacoethes. Behind them came in the wings and Terriman, and behind Terriman was Charmer, and behind Charmer was Hussian, and then Sapiens and Legal Case. And last was Limeburn, but officially it was a photo. But I think there's little doubt that Belmez, the only 3-year-old in the race, number 13, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Michael Cannan, has beaten number 10, Old Vic, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Steve Cawthon. So a scintillating 1-2 for Henry Cecil and a 3-4 for Guy Harwood, with Asatis third and Cacoethes fourth.
The greatest big race jockey in Europe, Michael Cannan's becoming. He's fallen in for yet another major success. He comes to take it up off the stable companion Old Vic early in the straight, and although Belmez started to hang a little bit to the left, Michael straightened him out. There he's hanging to the left again. Steve Cawthon and Old Vic have never given up. They've rallied back, and look at Asatis back in third. His first defeat at Ascot, but what a glorious defeat.
I don't think I've ever seen Steve Cawthon put more in a finish, because that's his stable companion just on his outside. He could have ridden this, don't forget. He chose Old Vic. Well, both these horses have given all. I thought for a moment Old Vic was going to hang on, but don't forget he's been off the racecourse for quite a long time. He's only had the 1 run this year, but to take nothing away from Belmez, perhaps the best 3-year-old in Europe, or he's after that crown later on this season.
Now what a triumph this is for Henry Cecil. 1-2, 2 horses that he had to beg the owner to run. Belmez, as you can see, not by any means running on rails. And Old Vic, he's already getting very, very tired indeed. He's wandering under Steve Cawthon. But look at the drive of Michael Cannan as he's pulled his whip through to his left hand there. Steve Cawthon, as Jimmy said, riding the strongest finish imaginable. The Sheikh Mohammed's first and second look back to In the Wings, who's fifth.
So Belmez by El Gran Senor, out of Grace Note by Topville, becomes the 21st 3-year-old to win the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. Julius Cecil there congratulating him, Henry Cecil congratulating him, Michael Cannan there, the amazingly successful big race rider who of course achieved an all-time high in his career before today when he won the Arc de Triomphe on Carroll House. The official result still to be announced, but little doubt that Old Vic was second. Belmez a 15-2 chance, Old Vic a 4-1 chance. What a resounding triumph for Henry Cecil, whose previous victory in the race was with Reference Point in 1987. First ride in the race for Michael Cannan. This the horse that beat the subsequent Derby winner, Quest for Fame, in the Dalham Chester Vase. Suffered an injury after beating him and was thought at one time unlikely ever to race again. What a dazzling comeback for this colt by possibly one of the unluckiest horses not to win the Derby, El Gran Senor. So the record stands after the 40th running of the Ascot Showpiece, 21 to the 3-year-olds and 19 to the 4-year-olds and upwards. 16 4-year-olds in fact and 3 5-year-olds. Here comes the outcome of the photograph. First, number 13, Belmez. Second, number 10, Old Vic. Third, number 1, Osatis. Fourth, number 2, Cacoethes.
First, number 13, Belmez, 15-2. Second, number 10, Old Vic, 4-1. And third, number 1, Osatis, 16-1. First, Belmez, 15-2. Second, Old Vic, 4-1. And third, Osatis, 16-1.
Well, what an amazing result when you consider this horse wasn't confirmed a runner until less than 24 hours ago, and when you think that the horse was retired after damaging a tendon when beating the subsequent Derby winner Quest for Fame in the Chester Vase. It was a race which was run at a blazing pace from the World Go, and Steve Corton was the man who grasped the nettle. He made the running. Limeburn, the pacemaker, couldn't even get in front, and Steve made it a real stayers race. Look back to Belmez, who's wearing the French colours of Sheikh Mohammed, and he's back in about 5th or 6th place with a white cap on the rails there. Meanwhile, Cash Asmussen, he was lying handy enough in approximately 5th or 6th place also, in a good position. So, this was the point that Michael Cannan started to move up to win the King George on Belmez. And Michael Cannan, who's becoming the greatest big race jockey in Europe, is with me now. Michael, many, many congratulations. You've threaded your way through the field. You've got Old Vic in your sights now. How did the race go?
Went very well. Steve quickened off the corner and just coming down about the 3.5, and suddenly I was struggling a little bit, but it was always, he's lazy and I was always going to get on terms. I joined him as if I'm going to beat him well, and then I was suddenly got into a battle, and I thought we might lose it halfway up because Old Vic kept sticking his head out and making it difficult for my fella.
Was he lugging a little bit to the left?
He was.
There?
He's inclined to run a little bit left, a little bit right, and he was making it sort of hard for me to really get stuck into him, you know.
Steve had been in front from the start. Once you've gone a length up on him, you're entitled to think you could shake him off, but you can't.
No, I can't. about inside, we started across the stiff rise there. He's coming back at me, and he's making life very difficult.
The Japanese rider on your outside, but were you aware of his challenge?
No, I wasn't. No, I knew that it was between the two of us for up the straight. I wasn't aware of anybody that close. I was a little bit busy. I wasn't.
This is a very brave horse, and you've only held on by what, a neck in the end?
Yeah.
When did you first know that you got the ride?
Mr. Cecil rang me on Thursday evening and asked me would I be interested in coming across to ride him. I said sure. There's only one King George every year, and you might as well be in the lineup. You've no chance watching it on TV. And then I confirmed Mr. Weld and the owners they're very kind, and they let me free to ride today. And he was never he was a definite runner, but there was a question of whether Old Vic was running or not. If Old Vic ran, then Steve, naturally enough, would have ridden him. And
so you were on tenterhooks at the last moment?
I was, until I got up and watched Channel 4 at 9 o'clock this morning. Just got out of bed, and they said that Old Vic was a definite runner, and I was happy then.
It's been a sensational 12 months for you. You won the Irish Oaks last year, you won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, now you won the King George.
Yeah, it's better be born lucky than rich, I think.
Are there any chances that you might come to ride in this country next year?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting really mired a bit with that at the moment. At the moment, I have no plans to leave Ireland at this given time.
Well, a great success today. Many congratulations, Michael Kinnahan.